This is so powerful. I'm so happy you're talking about an outlet, and that this is one way people can really kind of reset and get their grit again. You know, whether it's, you know, like you said, music or going to the beach. Like, I like to garden. So I will put some corny, you know, video together about gardening to, I don't know, potatoes or something, because like, to me, you know, like, when I get those voices of, you know, oh, you're not what you should be, or, you know, you're a failure, or I don't know. Well, I can't imagine, you know, some voices that other people might hear as well, but we all have those voices of where they try to bring that humiliation, or they try to make you feel like you're rejected, or you're a nobody, or you haven't accomplished enough, or you just won't fit in, all these things. But like you said, it's, and I think of gardening, and how I'm able to give back and use that energy to bring more life, and to bring, you know, just more, you know. And so
Yeah.
I just think it's beautiful that you're talking about that. And so it also kind of ties into a spiritual aspect as well, when you're trying to bounce back from hopelessness. And
Oh,
so,
for sure.
yeah, so talk to us about now a spiritual time when you use grit, someone as successful as yourself.
Well, the thing is when you consider it from the spiritual point, the best tool that Satan has is doubt.
Mm,
He doesn't have to get you to afflict you. I don't have to make your car crash. All I have to do is get you to doubt. Because
woo,
if you doubt, you'll pull up when things get tight. You'll pull up when the hill starts to go up. You'll pull up when it starts to get a little hot. So that's all he needs to do. And then the other side
wow.
of it is that we have to remember that the spiritual grit is all about God telling you that he's already lost.
Yeah.
Why are you listening to that clown? You need to
Yeah.
tell him to get to
Excellent.
stepping. You have no place
Yeah.
here. But
That's
you have
right.
to have the grit to be able to resist the things
Right.
that he'll send. And there aren't always a bad thing. Because
Right.
I explained to my students, I've been teaching adult Sunday school for about 25 years. I said, you do
Wow.
understand that on earth, he can give you anything, like anything. You want
Yeah.
a Maserati? Here's a Maserati. You want a 5,000 square foot house? Here. Because he knows that if you're on his plan, you're certainly not on God's plan.
Right.
So he
That's
doesn't have to do
powerful.
anything bad to get you there. But where the grit comes is that you now say, okay, this thing came to me unexpectedly and it's wonderful. Who did it come from?
Yo, right.
Who did it come from? And sometimes we won't question. We just like, oh, the Lord just blessed me, and there's the guy looking at you like, I ain't had nothing to do with that.
I have nothing to do with it. It goes silent. It goes silent. Oh my gosh. Doubt. So how then do people push through doubt with the help of grit?
By understanding the fourth letter, time, right? Things happen in seasons. So understand that you may be in a season of doubt. You may be in a season where you're just going, how in the world did I get here?
Yeah.
Okay. And the resilience to understand that for whatever duration this is, it came to pass. It's not going to be permanent, right? And and
Wow.
and but as we grow, both intellectually and spiritually, we understand that the resolution may not be what we expected. You know, we pray for a loved one who's inflicted with a disease, but if the Lord comes and gets them, that is a solution to that problem. Not the
Right.
one we would have preferred, but a solution nonetheless. But understand that everything runs its course. So the
Right.
resilience in time is really what is going to be necessary for you to get through that doubt.
This is beautiful. And it you know, it really makes me think of people that, you know, they don't think they're going to get that promotion. They don't think they're going to be able to get that house. They don't think they'll be able to get married. They don't think they'll be able to get that car. Just, or they don't think they'll be able to finish that assignment or finish school. I remember when I was finishing schooling at University of Florida, go Gators, I didn't think I would be able to finish my dissertation. It was so overwhelming. And I had one night where I had only maybe 80 something pages of my dissertation finished, because, you know, I did chapters 1 through 3. For those that know, you understand.
Oh yeah.
But then it's those last couple chapters where you really got to start looking through that, and then of course looking at your research review or your literature review, all this. But long story short, I remember that one night something clicked. Boom! I think it was Grit and Faith, and I wrote easily over 100 something pages to where my dissertation went from 88 pages to 222 pages. And then, of course, I had to bring it down to 160 something pages. But I'm saying that because in the time when it was 88 pages, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, I can't do this. My mom was dying. And then I was trying to bury her and deal with raising children by myself and all this. And I know I'm getting a little personal, but I'm only saying this because that doubt kicked in, and that lack of self-confidence of I just can't do this. And then of course people saying, what are you doing? Why did you sign up for this? You did this to yourself. You laid in that bed. Now you gotta, you made that bed. Now you gotta lay in it, kind of thing. And it just makes you feel sometimes like, I don't know if I can persist. I don't know if I can overcome. So I'm happy that you spoke about, overcoming doubt and persisting, that resilience in time, looking at the big picture, not looking at just that one moment, And so with that said, that now makes me ask another question to you. And that's going to be when it comes down to utilizing grit for success. And I kind of want you to shift this now, if you would, towards talking about also your career and what you do now. But when it comes down to utilizing grit for success, what advice would you give to a listener?
Don't be afraid to be great. Because that is where you're going to find the most resistance. Even among your family and friends. If you dare to be great and you have discipline and you have purpose and you have focus, all of a sudden you're going to be uppity and you think you're right. And listen to the way you talk. Who talks that way?
Oh my word.
And heaven forbid you throw out a multisyllabic word, right? So
oh my goodness.
Dare to be great and then always feed that greatness. I read a lot for my profession, so I don't read as much for leisure. But I watch videos all of the time because I'm always trying to feed my greatness. Because if you're not growing, guess what? You're shrinking.
Yeah.
And so and then the resilience comes in for the fact that you're going to do it when you don't want to do it. Yeah. Right. I mean, that's the real mark of your character. And that's the real mark of grit. Getting up and going to the gym at 7:00 when I went to bed at 2.
Right. Beautiful. And, and I think when you're talking about don't be afraid to be great, especially in particular communities, there's just a lack of grit in some of those communities because there's a fear of being great because you've been told that you have to respect the hierarchy. And so you don't want to outshine somebody that didn't quite do it. Like, for instance, I know of people and even myself where, you're going to be first generation because maybe someone in that family, didn't persist and go above and beyond. So then when you do go back home to visit, it's kind of awkward because you're kind of on this branch out there by yourself. And so people can think, like you said, oh, you're uppity. Who do you think you are? Or if you start pitching business ideas to people who are like, who are you? You're only supposed to just remain here at this level. Or, you start pitching other opportunities or you start doing that. I remember I was talking to somebody about, when I was an administrator and I was talking to someone about wanting to shine. And when I said that, I said, I just want to shine. I want to help people shine. I want us to shine. And that's always been my heartbeat. I want to lift up. I want to shine, right? I want people to shine. And the person told me, and they said, India, never say shine. Just don't say that. That just sounds wrong. And, you're just not going to get far with that. Long story short, that person and I, we weren't on the same wavelength. We just didn't see eye to eye about life, about future. So moving forward, I couldn't get off the word shine. So I started looking. I said, are there any businesses that help girls with shining and all this? And sure enough, I found a nonprofit that helped girls shine. So I was able to actually speak for that nonprofit and help them with planning some of the curriculum that they do for girls. And it was a wonderful organization, but they are thriving as they're helping girls shine. And so I say that because sometimes we sit on these ideas that are going to connect us to greater ideas than ourselves and greater pockets of people, pockets of collaboration than we are on our own. I mean, I'll never forget reaching out and being able to do the little projects I did with India, the beautiful women in India that were, all about beauty and pageantry and stuff. And they're doing some phenomenal things now. But I had a wonderful season with them. And it was because my name was India and because they believed, and wanting to be able to be confident and to speak. And so I say that because, so many times people sit on their greatness because they're afraid to be great. And so with that said, how can you cultivate a culture of grit in communities?
By getting involved, because each of us have been given a gift. And unlike a talent that you hone, a gift is innate, right? It was, but it's more importantly for someone else. Yeah. So if your gift is encouragement, then you can go to the nonprofit, the local Boys and Girls Club, your son's baseball team, and encourage. But through that encouragement, you teach them about what resilience actually is, right? So if you picture it like a palm tree, whenever you see the hurricanes go through, they go back and forth, but it's very seldom you see them get pulled out of the ground. Okay, they are able to deal with a huge amount of wind. And so as we are coaching people and talking to people and encouraging people, we're telling them, listen, it could bend you all the way to the ground. It just don't break you. Okay, that and as we get that to be the pervasive thought, especially in communities that are underserved, then what happens is it triggers curiosity. And because now, I know when I was a kid, I'd be riding my bike through different neighborhoods and I'd always wonder, where does that street go? And where does that street go? And so I would just ride my bike in these places and get lost, right? Because I was just curious.
I would get lost if I did that.
But when we create that culture where they understand that part of your greatness is the willingness to learn things new and the willingness to make mistakes and the willingness to get up and brush yourself off and do it again, our whole community begins to thrive. Because now I'm going to wonder how I can help you